This is the third week lesson for Primary 3 Computer Studies, and our topic is a computer keyboard. And the lesson is being presented by Mr. Moses Augustine Garwa. The topic outline is that the description of a computer keyboard and identification of a computer keyboard. The objectives of the lesson. At the end of this lesson, people should be able to describe a computer keyboard and to identify a computer keyboard. Now, the lessons. A computer keyboard, just like we said in our previous lesson, that is input devices. A computer keyboard is an input device. And this allows us to enter letters, numbers, and other symbols into the computer. Without the computer keyboard, it will be very, very difficult for us to type in letters, numbers, or symbols into the computer. So computer keyboard is one of the most used input devices for computers. Using the keyboard, to enter a lot of data into the computer is known as typing. That is why you hear, I want to go and type, I am typing my work, I am doing this. You are actually using the computer keyboard to enter a lot of data into the computer. Now, a keyboard contains many mechanical switches or pushes buttons called keys. Yes, all these buttons, we call them keys. Yes, you can just imagine when you press or you push any of these keys, before you know, you will see an information or a letter or a number, whatever you press on the screen of your monitor. Yes, it is the work of the keyboard. So the keyboard used to send like those keys. We have uh, alphabetic keys, all that contains letters. We have numeric keys that has contains numbers, and we have symbol keys that contain symbols. Anyone you press, the keyboard will now take it and signal to the computer that this is what you want, and the computer will actually process it and then paste it on the screen of the monitor. So, and what is doing that is the CPU. The CPU accepts the data and process it and then send it back to you on the screen so that you can see it. Now, beside entering data or characters into the computer using the keyboard, it also has special keys that change the symbol such as shift or cap lock or give the computer special commands. Yes, from the keyboard, we also have keys that are used to control the computer, to command the computer to do certain things like close a window, open the window, uh, delete the text that you don't want, and so many of them. So the computer has different types of keys that can do that also. A keyboard also can be joined to a computer using a wire or a cable, but sometimes you can see some that has no wire, we call them wireless. But this type of keyboard that has no wire connecting to the system unit is called a wireless keyboard. And they use what we call Bluetooth. So if your keyboard is wireless, it means that it is using Bluetooth to send this data into the computer. Most 21st century keyboards that use wires connect to a USB port on the computer. So many of the keyboards now, they are now using USB ports. But before, they were having a port that is called VIN connector. So, but you hardly see the system unit that is using such port, or I mean a keyboard that is using such port to connect to the system unit. Many of them are using USB, Universal Serial Bus. So this is about a keyboard. But you remember we did not talk about the types of keyboard and the different types of keys on the keyboard. That will come later. So this is the end of our lesson today. But before I go, now I would just want to mention a little about what we have learned today. We have learned that the keyboard is an input device that allows a person, that is the user, to enter letters, numbers, and other symbols into a computer system. It is one of the most used input device for computer. Now, using a keyboard to enter lots of data is called typing. A keyboard contains many mechanical switches or push buttons called keys. When one of these are pushed, an electrical circuit is closed and the keyboard sends a signal to the computer that tells it what letter, number, or symbol it would like to be shown on the screen. And the CPU, the computer CPU, then shows the character on the screen. Usually at the place where the cursor is, that is where you will see the character. Beside, beside entering characters or symbols or whatever, we also have the computer keyboard also has special key that change the symbol, such as shift or cap lock or control or alt. It gives the computer special commands. Now, a keyboard can be joined to a computer using a wire or cable, but can also be wireless, meaning no wire to connect it. So if there is no wire, if it is wireless, it means it's using Bluetooth. Mostly this 21st century, that means the keyboard that we can see now, many of them, mostly they are connecting to the system unit using a USB port on the computer. But also the older ones were less versatile, so they use DIN connector port. Thank you. Remain blessed.